Hi guys, how was everyone's Thanksgiving? So, this video that I did yesterday that I uploaded, I tried something new. I used an AI um, plugin that, is supposed to make creating your videos snazzier, easier, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't like it. Um, it just kind of randomly chooses effects and whatever to put on it, and I didn't like it at all. Especially at the end where I'm talking and I'm driving. It kind of kept going like the zoom in and out, and if it drove me crazy, I'm sure it drove you crazy. But the content itself, I hope you enjoyed seeing my visit with the kiddos. I've tried different things with my videos. Excuse me. I've tried, giving them a background of, this effect, that effect. But I think I'm going to stick to just the good old fashioned point, click, film, whatever. Um, Unless there's something, you know, that calls for some effect or, the usual, like if I show an article, I'll put that up, or a little video clip, I'll do that stuff. But I think I'm going to stick to what I know works and what I know you guys like. I may redo that video, excuse me, and re-upload it at another time. Today is a very busy day for me, and that kind of makes me sad. Um, because there's so much here that I want to get done. And I just know that when I'm done, when I get home this afternoon or this evening, I'm going to be tired and I won't feel like doing anything. But I'm actually going to be, gone most of the day. Well, probably all day. I have my working interview. We need to talk about this too. What the heck is this new thing? My last job did it as well. It's basically where you go in for an hour or so and you do the job, or you're shown how to do the job that you're being hired to do, and you decide whether or not it's something that you want to do, which I think is a good idea in theory, but you're not being paid for it. And so the company gets some free labor. Now, I think if you're hired, they need to tack that onto your paycheck. Even if you're not, I mean, you need to be paid for that time. I get it. I love the concept of, okay, let's go in and do the job for a bit or see how it's done. Then that really gives you a good idea of whether or not you're going to want to do that job or that you're capable of doing it. I think that's awesome. But work is work. I mean, there used to be a thing as on the job training where you just automatically got paid for being, you know, there and doing your job, But I don't. This is a new concept to me. Like I said, my last job did this as well. Excuse me. I get this more in the wintertime. And it's not officially winter yet. But yeah, when the weather turns colder, them sinuses are just like attack. But I mean, like I said, I do love the concept. Um, but I wish that we could get paid for it. Now, maybe my last job did pay me for it. I really don't know. It might have been on my paycheck. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens today. I don't think you get paid for that working interview, and then I have the sit down interview right afterwards if I still decide to work there. Toast with some jelly on it. And she's like, show up anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30, you know, work for an hour or two, then we'll do the sit down. I'm only going to do it for an hour and hopefully get to sit down right after because I have to take my client to her doctor's appointment. I need to pick her up around 1 o'clock. And she's going to want to go to Chinese afterwards. I mean, me, I kind of just want to go take her to her appointment, get her back home, come back home and do what I got to do. But she's like in her, I think she's either 80 or in her 80s. I think she's 80. And she rarely gets out, you know. She rarely gets out, so, you know, I'll just, you know, take her. Oh, no, it's not something I charge her extra for. I realized something this morning when I was getting dressed. I don't know why this popped into my head, but my whole life, aside from the usual fast food service jobs, the occasional, you know, customer service job when I was younger, like way younger, my whole life has been about kids, the elderly, and animals. I worked at a no-kill shelter before, very briefly, because I got bit in the ankle by a pit bull. You think I'd be scared of pit bulls, but no. I adore them. I think that fellow was just trying to get my attention. And I remember I walked into the gate and there was like 100 plus dogs just free roaming. And they were all very friendly, all very curious about me. And this one nipped me on the ankle. Not enough to cause damage but, you know, I think maybe he was competing for the attention, you know, because there were so many other dogs. But they did end up putting him up for the rest of the time that I was there that day. And I was younger and I didn't go back because that moment scared me. And I was like in my 20s, I think. And, but it didn't give me a fear of pit bulls, obviously, because Sandy's a pit. And, but I've worked, you know, I've done the shelter thing. I've done the, you know, the kid taking care of children from very young, you know, and the elderly. I worked in an Alzheimer's unit facility as well, and I liked that job. The only thing I truly didn't, I liked taking care of the people, the elderly. What I did not like was the hours that I had to work at the time. And it was graveyard. And it was so hard because it honestly, in the evening, it was kind of boring. There was really not a lot to do, but you walk around every 15 minutes and check on everybody. Um, and then in the morning, you got them, you know, showered and dressed for breakfast and brought them out for breakfast and all that. But during the night, it was a struggle sometimes because there was nothing to do. So it was very tempting to sit down and shut your eyes. Um, but I did enjoy that, you know, the people part of it, taking care of the elderly. And that's, you know, we're all going to get there. We're all going to be elderly like that. We're all going to be old someday. And some of us are closer to that than others. And I keep that in mind, you know, like when I'm taking my client to her appointment, because so far she's the only one, you know, and she says to me, she wants to go, Chinese is her favorite thing. And she wants to go eat Chinese. And I didn't do it last time I took her to her appointment. I said, no, I'm sorry. I have somewhere else I have to be. And I did. I was going to that interview and, or to turn in my application. And just the look that came across her face and her whole demeanor changed. And she was like, oh, I understand. She was happy for me to be getting a job, but she says that she can't get out. She's got a car that she really can't drive, and she doesn't get out, and her children don't live near her. So the elderly pay for services for, folks they depend on people like me to take them places. And it's, it just broke my heart, because it reminded me of my mom. She reminds me a lot of my mom. And some of the things she says reminds me of my mom. Um, but she's old, and elderly say what's on their mind, point blank. They just do. And it broke my heart that she was so sad, you know? I was looking at the time on here, 11 minutes. Okay. So I don't want to not take her this afternoon for her Chinese, and I know she's going to want to go. Because we're all going to get there. And I remember my mom just wanting to get out, or just making excuses for my sister to come visit, you know. Um, and so I see that in this lady. Um, she just wants to be able to still enjoy some things in life. And I know that that's going to happen to me one day, all of us. So I feel like, to be kind to the elderly. This is the only country that isn't very nice to their elderly. We'd rather forget about them here, or stick them in a nursing home, or pay other people to take care of them. We do not respect our elderly here like other countries do. It's, and I wonder why that is. Other countries take care of their elderly, especially like Japan, man. And they all live as a family unit, which I think is smart. And it's something my sister and I have talked about, trying to make sure we all stay together, because as you get older, you need each other, because ain't nobody coming to your rescue, you know. So we think it's important to stick together as a family unit, which is another reason that I moved here, after my mom passed, knowing that, we do need each other, and we are going to need each other even more as we get older. So probably something for a whole new video, maybe a podcast, Andrew. Um, Probably a good subject for a podcast. Um, I need to get off here. I don't know how I got off on that subject. I really just jumped on here to talk about yesterday's video and the AI program that I used to put it together. I will never use that again. I apologize to my subscribers for using it. I will probably, when I have some time, just redo that video my way. I did it my way. Anyway, so yeah. Let me get going. Sorry for the rant this morning. I'm still waking up. But when something gets in my head, I need to talk about it, like with the elderly. And the point I was trying to make and all that was that this morning as I was getting dressed, I realized that my entire life has been about taking care of children, taking care of the elderly, taking care of animals. And that's a calling. That's a calling. That is I feel like I was given a servant's heart. And don't misunderstand that to mean gullible and stupid or someone that you can boss around. That's not what a servant's heart means. I just feel like that's just something that God put into me. That's my reason for being here. People wonder their whole life, what is my purpose for life? Why am I here? I figured mine out a long time ago. Was to help take care of those who can't take care of themselves. And that's a good note to end on. And I am going to get out of here and get over to that shelter because it's going on 9:30 now. And I'll let you guys know how it goes. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, I just love you guys so much. Please do me a favor. Just hit the like button. It's painless. Do one little, there you go. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. It doesn't hurt. We can get unlimited subscriptions, and I may post more videos that you actually enjoy. So, subscribe. Thank you, and share. Say, hey, I think this person's kind of quirky and whatever, but she's kind of cool too. You know, she's just an everyday person. I'm not trying to take your money. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is just my life. And if you go back and look through my videos, you'll see how much my life has changed. And my life does that. It changes rapidly. And once I make a decision on something, it's full steam ahead. I've got to get out of here. I love you all. God bless.